from the public or adjacent property owners regarding the application. That is true all the way up to this meeting. Should the Planning Commission make an approval recommendation, staff recommends that include the following 9 conditions as proffered by the applicant owner. And I will go through those a little more in detail.
Mr. Horton, I hate to interrupt you,
Yes.
but we have been told that this was muted. So would you mind starting for, continuity back over at the start of the presentation so our
absolutely.
viewing public can hear it?
Absolutely.
Can we open the public hearing again for purposes of our audience listening at home?
Absolutely. For the audience, for visitors? Yes, I'd love to.
Thank you.
We'll move back to our audience for visitors. I'd like to open the audience for visitors. This is a section of our agenda in which the public is able to speak on anything other than related to the public hearings this evening. Would anybody like to speak? Seeing no one, we're going to close the audience for visitors. And Mr. Horton, you can begin your presentation.
Okay, good evening again. And we'll start from the top. This is a conditional rezoning for Taylor Stewart. Conditional to go from R1 to B2 condition. And the reason we call it condition is that the applicant has proffered conditions that I'll get to in the course of this presentation. This is, as the chairwoman pointed out before, a .510 acre parcel, conditionally rezoned, as I said, from R1 residential to B2 business for professional office space, landscaping, contracting, and a storage yard. The tax back parcel is, 27-01-00-0032. The application was advertised for public hearing. It appeared in the paper on January 7th and January 14th at the Daily Press. Adjacent property owners were notified of this request by letters mailed on January 12th, 2026. As I said before, the site is 5.10 acres, lies at the southeast corner of Wythe Creek Road and Ashland Lane. The site can support the addition of uses as proffered by the applicant. The applicant has provided a concept layout of the property prepared by Anthony Potts. Okay, these are the pictures, and I took the pictures basically from north, panoramic around the back, and then took a picture of the building at the front at the last. But this first picture here is going north. Pretty much, from your upper left corner. Next one over from that is along Ashland Lane. The one after that, you can see that it shows the storage building as well as the garage area. I took one picture of, an adjoining house, but the next picture is McPherson's garage, which is located across the street, slightly south along Wythe Creek Road. The last picture here, and I made this one a little bit bigger, was for is a picture of the actual building to be utilized by the applicant for. There'll be some professional office space, and of course landscaping and storage yard, landscape contracting and storage yard. This is the plat prepared by Anthony Potts, which pretty faithfully shows everything that was shown in pictures before. If approved by City Council, the new zoning of B2 business would permit the operation of professional office space, landscape contracting, and a storage yard. The applicant has already obtained approval from the Architectural Review Board for the proposal, which of course was a requirement. And that was attached, that approval was attached behind this memo. The comprehensive plan doesn't specifically mention the subject parcel. However, the property is contained within the low-density residential area as designated on the comprehensive plan future land use map. Immediately following the consideration of this conditional zoning, I will be proposing the comprehensive plan amendment, which will move it from low-density residential to general commercial. Okay, for these reasons, the consideration of a change in the property's designated well, and this is talking more about the comp plan, we'll get to that in a minute. The parcel is bordered by R1 zoning on all sides, including, as I said, McPherson's Garage Incorporated, located slightly south across West Creek Road. Approximately 870 feet to the north begins the general commercial area as depicted on the comprehensive plan future land use map. The site is accessed and will continue to be accessed directly off of West Creek Road. Staff has not received any concern from the public or adjacent property owners regarding this application. That is true up to this very moment. Should the Planning Commission make an approval recommendation, staff recommends that it include the following 9 conditions as proffered by the applicant owner. And I will go through those a little bit, so just beg your patience a little bit. The user's request is solely for landscaping, contracting, and associated storage. I didn't add as well as professional offices. Okay. The storage yard will be screened in accordance with city code and as approved by the Architectural Review Board. As I attached the memo of approval from the Architectural Review Board. No outdoor activity will be permitted from the hours of 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., with the exception of what we might have this weekend, a significant weather event or government-declared emergency. Mr. Stewart, and he can talk more about this, but he does do some plowing during times of snow and ice. Parking areas, if required, shall be surfaced in accordance with the city's site plan ordinance. The city's site plan ordinance does call for an all-weather surface, but there are provisions where perhaps a more pervious surface could be approved. Trees on the wooded portions of the lot will remain unless they're dangerous or diseased. Material kept on site will be shielded from public view in its entirety. Equipment and vehicles will be screened from public view up to 55% to be determined by height at the highest point. Now, as the Planning Commission may be aware, some equipment is rather tall, and you can see a little bit of it over the fence. Vehicles and equipment kept in the storage yard must be kept in good repair and working condition. We're not talking about a junkyard here. Abandoned and or unlicensed vehicles or equipment will not be permitted. No portion of the storage yard shall be located in the required front yard setback and shall meet all front yard setback requirements. And his application indicates that. Parking on site shall be adequate for all uses as required by the site plan ordinance and all applicable sections of city code. It's kind of a repeat, but city code is mentioned. So, okay. So that's really what I have for the conditional rezoning. I'll be happy to take any questions you might have. And the applicant is here in case, I don't know if he wants to speak or not, but he is here.
Thank you. Any questions?
I have one. Of course, the proffers seem generous and adequate for what's being presented here. I was curious about the access to the adjacent southerly property, and it looks like that's going to be set aside for access through that piece of property. There's a opening in the fence. I look at the plat correctly, or is that a gate? Make sure I understand that relationship between the two properties.
I think the existing owner of the property and him had a agreement that they could access through the side. I'm not sure we'll be able to keep that just due to some of the equipment and things that we have, since we will be putting that privacy fence up down the street. I'll talk to him. If he needs a gate, we can put one in. But at this time, insurance reasons, I need to talk to them to see if they would be okay with that. Because there will be some equipment back there as far as, chippers and things like that nature that you really don't want to have just access to.
The gentleman owns the property and you'd be renting that from him, or do you own the property?
I own the property. You're referring to the piece of asphalt that runs through there?
Yes.
Yeah. We own I think we're off. His asphalt comes onto our side.
So that fence will be continuous with
Yes,
no
sir.
gate? So,
Yeah, we'll meet up to his.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
Are y'all planning on adding any additional square footage or just using the office space as it is?
Just using the office space as is as of now. We don't anticipate to do anything with the building currently.
Madam Chairwoman, you may want to call him up to speak since he's already
I will.
speaking. in-
I will.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Have a seat for me for 1 second. Public hearing shortly. Any other questions? Mr. Yeager?
I have a couple. With the With Creek widening project
Yes.
and sidewalk enhancements, will that impact Mr. Stewart's land?
Well, the Wolf Creek Road project, as you probably already know, is getting smaller as we speak. But I'm not aware that they were going to be taking any of his property for the Wolf Creek Road expansion.
And my next question would be number 6.
Okay.
If you could just kind of, for my benefit, kind of help me understand the 55%, the public view up to 55% determined by the height at the highest
Yeah,
point.
This right. Well, I know the applicant can probably speak to this a little bit myself, but what I think of when we're talking about this is that not all of his equipment is going to be, less than 8 or 9 feet. It's going to stick up over the fence, so you're going to be able to see the top of some of that equipment. And that's why we say, 55% was sort of just chosen as a number. I mean, it can certainly be, if depends on the equipment. I mean, if you've got a big truck back there, you're going to, whatever's sticking over the fence, you're going to be able to see it pretty much. I mean, 55% was, what we happened on in terms of, if you got 100-foot, I'm going to use an 18 square foot, box. If that's a bad example, if you took a double deck of a 18-wheel trailer and you had half of it over there, you would probably be at about 55%.
Okay.
This is a follow-up question to that. This, the 55% based on your description seems like it's by area, not by height.
It'd be by height. I mean, what I'm trying to say is if you've got a fence that's 9 feet tall and you have a trailer that's 18 feet tall, then, some of that's going to be visible. Maybe half, maybe a little bit less than half. But that's how we came up with that.
I think my comment would just be that number seems somewhat vague, or what that's describing, so maybe that could be clarified a little bit.
Okay.
Same thing. It's kind of an odd, arbitrary number to come up with.
Let's, what we'll do is we'll open the public hearing and maybe our applicants can speak to that a little bit better with the equipment. So right now, we're going to go ahead and open the public hearing. And Mr. Stewart?
If I can speak to that, my main concern when we were talking was With Creek does sit a little bit higher than my property. So even if we were to do the full 9-foot fence, you'll still be able to see over. Most of my stuff is under the 13-foot mark. We have one dump truck that's, I think, 10, 11. So that would be the largest thing that we would have back there as of now. But I don't know how we came up with 55, to be honest with you. I think that was just something we said a half of it needs to be covered. But my main concern was, with Creek sitting a little bit higher than the road, or a little bit higher than our property, you'd be able to see over the fence.
Have the floor.
Okay. So one of the reasons we went forward with buying this property was we knew that this was going to be a possibility. We had to go through this process. We knew it was a current business at the time, but I did not want to operate my business out of my home, as many do, with no issues. But I do plan to grow and continue to grow, and that was just not a long-term goal for me to run it out of my house. So I saw this as a great opportunity to keep it in town. As y'all know, it's kind of hard to have a lay-down yard with a shop and everything else here in town. We don't have a ton of spaces available to that for contractors and of like myself. So this was kind of let's do it and see if we can make this work. Outside of that, my wife is going to be running. She has, for the office space, we originally had planned to rent it out. Instead, we were going to be doing a photography studio where she can utilize the space for her photography business, as well as rent it out to like other local photographers. They can come in and use the space to take photos on like an hourly rate basis versus not having anywhere if the weather's bad to do their photos. So that's the goal. Clarify some of that.
For the fencing, is there going to be any type of shading around the fencing as traditional? Is it vinyl fencing? Is it just chain link fencing? What, do you have an idea?
Front is going to be white vinyl across the
Okay.
front, and then down the sides is going to be wood privacy.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to do it on the inside. Down the left side, we're going to do it on the inside of those trees.
Sure.
So you'll have the trees as a buffer to kind
Right.
of break that up from the house that's right there.
Okay.
Across the front will be white vinyl 8-foot fence. With drive-through, we'll have drive-through gates on both sides, just so we can get in and out of the property at ease. But other than that, that's it. Any other?
Any other questions of the planning commission?
Well, I see that the plat it calls out a 6-foot wood fence, and plat part of the application, because the proffers don't indicate a height, so I don't know if
We were doing
Be added.
We're doing 6 foot. That was part of the architecture review board. They approved the 6 foot.
so that's part of the architectural okay.
Questions? Thank you.
I don't.
Would any other individuals like to speak regarding this application this evening? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Ask for how to proceed with the planning commission. Mr. Armentrout, we'll start with you.
Well, unless my fellow commissioners have any comment, I'd like to make a motion that we application as presented.
I can give that a second.
Okay.
I have some further discussion, if we can.
So if you have further discussion, can you take your second off the table? And you're first, and we'll come back to you in just a minute for Robert's rules.
The
Mr.
discussion is around the 55% that we were talking about, and I would recommend that we just remove it. If we need some sort of restriction, then perhaps we just put a height limit on the vehicle, and we already know the height of the fence, and that just takes care of it. It's much clearer and cleaner, and I have no objections, but it seems like that would be a way to specify that condition.
Well, what height would be acceptable, do you think?
What are the vehicle's height, max vehicle height? And we already know the fence is 6 feet, right? So
Yeah.
12 feet, that would be 50% according to that, but
Yeah.
the 55% might depend upon the vantage point from where you're looking at it. Like you said, with Creek Road, if you just put height in place, it just eliminates all of that ambiguity.
I think, was it 13.9 the over height limit going down the road for like an over-the-road truck? It was 13.9, so we could say 14 foot. Would that be too tall? Because I think over the road, so like semi is, I think they're restricted to 13 foot 9 inches.
Sorry to
Absolutely.
interrupt you.
Oh, good.
Just for my benefit here, the fencing that will surround the property, the fencing in the front, remind me the height of the fence in the
6
front.
foot.
And will that be 6 foot in
All the way.
entirety, all
Yes,
the way
sir.
around. So if you went over, 50%, that'd be 12. The max would be 12 to get to 50%, if I'm not 12 feet.
Okay.
You currently have trucks that are higher than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you also commented that With Creek Road is higher than your property.
Yeah.
The center of With Creek Road is higher than your property.
Yeah.
And I assume that's drainage and things of that nature off the road and
Yeah.
and to the curb and down, so guttering. Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Horton, do you have any recommendations on proceeding forward, or what would be your recommendation?
Well, keep in mind that in the storage yard, I mean, you're almost talking about volume 2. Is you may have a truck that's 14 or 15 feet tall, but you're certainly not going to have that throughout the whole storage yard. So it kind of depends on how you want to look at this thing. I think that, looking back on it now, we could have had it quantify certain vehicles, but that might be unwieldy because he doesn't know what vehicles he may have on the
Right,
property all
right.
the time. So, our purpose in 55% is that no vehicle would be over 55% taller than the fence, 6 feet, which by my math is almost 30. So, you almost have to either increase the percentage to allow for those trucks that might be a little bit taller than 13.9. I don't know if the applicant meant to say that's the tallest they would ever be. If they are, then we could very easily do a percentage of that. Now, keep in mind, these are proper conditions by the applicant.
Correct.
So the applicant has to feel comfortable with this. It's not.
Right.
But that to me seems to be the rub.
Would just suggest we offer the height limit that he suggested. Does anyone have a problem with that, 14 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that's much clearer than a percentage in my
So if
mind.
we say maximum height of 14 feet for any one vehicle,
Correct.
that would be how we would work.
No?
So that you're not pulling a backhoe in there on the back of a dump truck. I mean, it's kind of,
Well, 13.9 should still under that because that would be permit required, and at that point, if I get it in there, I can take it off the trailer, ideally
Yeah.
to bring it down. The main reason that I brought the 13.9 is at some point there's a business venture that I would like to have that I haven't fully committed to yet, but it's basically a truck that would not exceed the 13.9, but I would like to have the ability to have it there should it need maintenance. I don't plan on keeping it there full time. It would probably have to stay where I am currently, just due to material and things like that. But should I want to work on it or it need maintenance, I'd like to have the ability to take it there overnight, etc.
sure. No, and I mean, honestly, I think that, if we're looking at this, then it should be coincide with what's allowable on the road anyway. So, I mean, it makes sense to me to go 14 feet or right at with 13.9 or whatever's permissible as far as.
I'd like to make one last comment that I just appreciate the applicant proffering these conditions. I think it helps a lot with the whole process. I think it's well thought out and it makes your intentions transparent, and I just very much appreciate it.
Okay. So seeing that, can I have a motion to approve the amended application?
What are we amending it to? Are we going to change to 55%?
I think we're going to say 13.9 or 14 feet was mentioned.
14 feet was how I understood it, the
All right.
discussion to go.
Okay.
So how would that wording be? Changed to equipment and vehicles will be limited to a height of 13.9?
14 feet. 14 feet.
14 feet, sorry.
And just for information, that's about 54% over the height of 6 feet.
1%. All that over 1%. I'm just
That's
kidding.
differently than he's interpreting, so that's why I wanted to clear it up. I read that as 55% has to be covered, not above, so that's
We're gonna
different.
have to bring him
Well, I
bring him
factored in
back
the
over
6-foot fence
1%.
too. I factored in 14 feet is a little over 50% over the 6-foot fence. 54% over.
It says that 55% has to be screened, though, so that's different than what you're saying in my mind. Makes it cleaner. I don't think we need to keep discussing it.
No,
This is
we're
why I
good.
wanted to change it.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Wait.
I will see if I can get this motion out. I'd like to make a motion to approve the application as amended. Proffer number 6 to be revised to read, material kept on site will be shielded from public view and entirety. Equipment and vehicles will be limited to a height.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Hirsch?
Aye.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Geisinger?
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Very good. Congratulations. Wish you nothing but the best.
Absolutely.
We're going to move on to our second public hearing this evening, and this is going to be comprehensive plan amendments. Mr. Horton?
Thank you very much. Well, now that the Planning Commission has taken action on the conditional rezoning, one other thing we need to do is to keep the comprehensive plan aligned with our zoning map, which is a long-range goal of ours, and no time to start like the present. So this is a request from Taylor Stewart for a comp plan amendment that will go from low-density residential to general commercial. Still the same tax map number, 2701-000032. Same property, 4.510 acres. This was also advertised for public hearing in the Daily Press for January 7th and January 14th. And like the last application, adjoining property owners were notified by mail on January 12th, 2026. I think we've already covered this, but I just want to say the parcel is bordered by low-density residential, and that does include McPherson's garage, and it's 870 feet south of the general commercial area notated in the current comprehensive plan. The site, as I mentioned before, is accessed and will continue to be accessed off of Wythe Creek Road. You've already taken action on the conditional rezoning, so we don't need to go by that. We've already said that it got approved from our Architectural Review Board. Comprehensive plan doesn't specifically mention the property, as I pointed out, with the rezoning. But we do want to go ahead and change the designation to be in keeping with, to make the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance basically in agreement on this property. Again, we have not received any concern from the public or adjacent property owners, and the 9 conditions as provided by the applicant with the amendment to 14 feet would recommend that carry through as part of this as well. The comprehensive plan, I was hoping this would show up a little bit better, but you can see where I say property. And since I don't have a pointer, I'll point it out, but I'll be quiet while I'm doing it. That's essentially the property we're looking at. It's a little more rectangular than that, obviously, but that's what will be designated general commercial. That's pretty much all I got on that one.
Thank you.
Happy to take any questions.
Does anybody have any questions of Mr. Horton this evening?
I have one question. Would whatever change we make to the comprehensive plan try to include the McPherson's property as well, or is this isolated to the property in question that we're
This
talking
is
about?
going to
tonight?
be isolated to the property because this was initiated by the applicant. I think when we get to looking at the entire comprehensive plan, which we're going to do one of these days, we might want to take a look at that a little bit closer.
Thank you.
That's not anything.
And that's
that-
not the only area either.
But that's
There'll
not
be-
something that they would have to initiate. That's something that we could.
Well, we could, but McPherson's not made any noise one way or the other on it. They probably wouldn't mind, but I don't think our city council would want. I just think unilaterally redesignating the property is not something that.
That storage unit similar to that? Storage unit that's right there beside McPherson's, is that?
It would be, I think it would be a little bit difficult for you tonight to
Yeah.
discuss that without the facts in front of you. And
Right.
I'm
I-
curious. Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
curious.
and if we could just consider what's in front of this
Yeah, that's
this
all we're-
evening,
all we're doing
I think,
tonight.
yeah, that would be good. So, any other questions regarding the comprehensive plan amendment? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve as submitted with the amendment for the similar amendment that we made to the conditional zoning change of the 14-foot vehicle height.
I can offer the second.
Second?
Aye.
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 Armentrout,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Geisinger,
Aye.
Chairwoman Pop,
Aye.
passes unanimously.
Now we move to section number F in our agenda, communications and correspondence.
I don't have a whole lot. I will say that Thomas, who y'all know very well, is rounding into form with his new position as the Commissioner of Revenue. He's been very busy, but of course we've all been a little bit busy because we've got some vacancies. Comp plan is under the board is still digesting, if you will, the recommendations that were pointed out on December 8th. I will hopefully have some more on that by next month.
Thank you. Any of our,
Ask a question to Wally. I understand Thomas's position has been advertised for a new planner. Are we, any applicants? Or
Yes, we
How's
we
that
advertised
progressing?
for a chief of planning, and our AV specialist back here, Laura News, is our new chief of planning.
Oh, well, congratulations.
she's
I should have
waving
pointed
to us.
that out before.
Yes, thank you.
And y'all know Amy Young is filling in for Crystal St. Pierre.
She's doing a good job. Any other comments? I want to take a minute tonight to thank those who stepped up to help us with the Planning Commission this evening. I know it was stressful, and I appreciate your time and allowing us to consider things this evening. I also want to, again, wish everybody a great week. Be safe in this weather. No other comments?
I just want to congratulate Mr. Stewart for his business in Poquoson. I think it's great. So best of luck to you as you move forward. Great.
All right, well, that concludes our meeting this evening. I have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Vice Chairman Geisinger,
Aye.
Chairwoman Pop.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Right. Thank y'all.